All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so this is Sonic Colors Ultimate. This is my favorite Sonic speedrun, and one of my favorite speedruns pretty much ever. It is a boost-style Sonic game, so Sonic is going to boost. That's the primary method of speed here. As you can see, he's going a lot faster, but the thing about this speedrun that makes it difficult is you only have a limited amount of boost, so you need to use it in the best spot. And also, this game is kind of a different style of Sonic. Other Sonic games usually try to do the least amount of levels but make them really long. This game is kind of the opposite, where it has more levels but they're shorter, which means there's more variety and more chances for fast gameplay, which I really like.
You mean Sonic goes fast?
Yeah, you know, if I do my job, he does.
This might be the first Sonic game where that happens. I don't know. I don't know that he's ever gone fast before.
Yeah, so
I don't know if you ever played Sonic R.
Sonic, you know, he likes to take things slow. You know, that's his whole motto, right? Gotta go slow. But no, he will go really fast, thankfully, and that's, you know, part of the appeal of this speedrun is the gameplay is a lot, but it's really fast-paced, and there's a lot of inputs per second, which, one, looks really cool, and two, feels really cool to pull off. So that was the first level. That was Tropical Resort Act 1. That's kind of our, like, bonus, not bonus level, but like our intro. And soon we're going to see the first power-up. I don't think we see it in this level. But right now, it's just going to be some boost gameplay, but eventually we're going to get these power-ups called Wisps, and they're basically going to allow us to do a multitude of things, and these are going to be part of the ways we break the game. The first one we're going to see is the Laser Wisp, which basically lets us shoot off in a direction like a laser, who would have thought. And we're going to use that throughout the entire run to reach areas that maybe the game didn't expect us to reach. It's also important to know that Sonic games were designed to have multiple paths in mind, and there's typically one path that's the fastest, but we can sometimes exploit the slower paths to do some skips. That's going to be what you're seeing throughout this entire run.
Nice. So you mentioned the boost. Is that the meter in the bottom left there?
Yeah, that's the meter in the bottom left, and the way you get it is by getting those these white, like, aliens that fly out. They're limited in capsules, and sometimes enemies will have them as well. So it's important going in, doing this run, to know which enemies have boost, because the more boost you have, the faster you can go.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And does the rank at the end of the levels matter at all, or is that just for something else?
Yeah, that's for 100% completion. If you ever wanted 100% the game, you're going to need to get S ranks, and it's interesting because each Sonic game kind of determines ranks differently, whereas in Sonic Adventure 2, I'm too low. That's okay. In Sonic Adventure 2, it would be based off the enemies you beat and then based off of, like, doing tricks. But in this game, it's a lot more complicated. You get ranks based off of how many rings you keep to the end. So if you want to get an S rank, you pretty much have to ensure that you don't get hit. Which, I mean, it can be a fun challenge, but it's pretty annoying. And also, you know, speed does matter. And also, just like beating enemies throughout will also give you more points. But in the any % run, which I'm doing right now, it does not matter. However, I recently just got done doing like a mini grind of 100%, and I got my time under 3 hours. And in that category, you have to get all the S ranks. So it only matters for 100%.
So when you say you got a time of less than 3 hours, to put that in perspective for those that may not run this game or know this game?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure if you go to, like, there's a website that tells you how long it takes to beat each game. I think the casual playthrough for, like, normal is like 7 hours. And 100%, you know, usually they're long, but in this game, it's not too long of a game, but there are collectibles in each level that you need to memorize, and that's the hard part. So the length isn't really going to give you trouble, but there's just so much to remember in, like, a Sonic game whenever you're getting 100%. Also, that was the first use of the Laser Wisp, and we used it to kind of reflect off the ground to take us to the highest path, which also is the fastest. So that's some use of the Wisps, and you're going to see a lot more of those throughout the run.
Oh, we got a cutscene here.
Yeah, every time you unlock a new wisp, it's going to show a cutscene of the wisps getting unlocked, because once you get it for the first time, then you can use it in any level. You're going to see throughout the run I might pass some of these like hollow containers that would usually contain wisps, and it's because I haven't unlocked them yet. So you actually can't use them until you like first experience them in a level. And unfortunately, that means in this category, we're going to miss out on some wisps early on. There is an alternative category for this called Egg Shuttle, which is basically like a time attack mode for this game. It's kind of the main speedrun category. It lines up all the levels back to back, and there's no world map. But you also have all the wisps unlocked for that mode. So there is a little bit of difference for half of the run. But I kind of like this category better because actually I'm not really sure why, but is it normal to say it's just better?
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, everyone's got preferences.
Also, shoutouts to the Ghost Wisp. It's the first time, it was the first new Wisp in this game. It's also the only new Wisp. Unfortunately, Sega got a little lazy. But it's kind of the first time that they added content to this game, which is really cool. Also, right there, I skipped the trigger. That would have been like kind of an auto-scroller section by shooting straight up. And we're already kind of at the end of the level. Thankfully, again, the thing about these games is these levels are not very long. And it allows, you know, to, wow, you're already done with the level? It's like, yeah, but in reality, the levels just weren't long to begin with. Kind of a cool little thing where if you haven't seen the run, you're like, oh my god, he's moving so fast. And so we're going into the final level of this world. It is the first only 2D level. This game is a mix of 3D and 2D. A lot of people, their biggest gripe with this game is that it's like, oh, this is a 2D Sonic game that's like disguising itself as a 3D Sonic game. I personally think that that's like not true, but you know, everyone's allowed to have their own opinion, even if it's wrong. This is, I will say, I cannot be unbiased about this game. This was the first real Sonic game that I played, and it is one of my favorite video games of all time. I just died, unfortunately. But that lets me introduce a new concept that they added to this game as well, where they've done away with game overs. Instead, you have these like Tails lives, where if you fall and you have one to spare, Tails will just bring you back to where you died instead of taking a life away. And if you don't have any and you die, then it just takes you back to the last checkpoint. So there will be no game overs, thankfully.
So you've said something that's really given me a really curious question. So for the guys sitting here on the couch, what was the first Sonic game that you guys played?
I definitely played one of the early ones on the Sega Genesis. I can't remember which one, though. There's definitely one on the Sega Genesis that I played.
I've only ever played the early ones, no idea what it's called. All I remember is my brother would never let me play as Sonic, so I've only ever been Tails.
Oh, the classic younger sibling experience.
I didn't have a Sega or anything like that, so I would, if I had a chance, I would play at someone's house. But I don't remember the title or anything.
So you may never have played a Sonic game.
I've played a Sonic game like very shortly. Like I haven't beat a whole entire Sonic game.
So the whole reason I mentioned this is because, Hex, you said this was your first Sonic game. You've just made us all feel incredibly old.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And we are.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, this game, so I actually didn't even talk, this is Sonic Colors Ultimate. Sonic Colors for the Wii, Sonic Colors was for the Wii. This game came out a couple years ago, but the game that this is pretty much a remaster of was out in like, I think 2013. I can't exactly remember, but this is like a remaster of a game that was out on the Wii. And honestly, the game on the Wii was actually pretty good. Like, I would not say that it is like worse by any means. In fact, some people will argue that this game is actually worse than the Wii version. I personally don't agree, but again, everyone's allowed to have their own opinions. And it's rough because at the beginning with this game, there were a lot of problems at launch. I'll explain more of those later because they're not applicable right now. But there were a lot of issues at launch, making the game at times even unplayable. But thankfully, all those issues, or at least most of them, have been patched. Also, I forgot to mention, we're in a new world now. This is Sweet Mountain. The plot of this game is that it's basically Eggman's amusement park, and he wanted to do it to make up for all the bad things that he did, but it's actually a plot to get energy from the wisps to do more evil stuff, so he didn't actually turn over a new leaf, unfortunately.
What?
Le gas.
Who would have thought? But each park has its own theme. This one is obviously like a dessert theme. You're going to actually see a burger in the next level. I don't know how that's dessert, but
You clearly haven't been desperate for food.
I guess so. Listen, you can eat a burger for dessert. You can also eat dessert at the same time and eat a burger. I don't judge. But gameplay-wise, it's all right. I don't know how to... I want to try to like sell it up, but like it's not my favorite world by any means. But it's a nice introduction. You get introduced to the drill wisp, which you saw allows me to drill in the ground. And eventually we'll get to some cooler levels that I really enjoy. But for now, we just get to vibe and go fast.
So does each world have like a theme, or is it like their unique wisp that they have for each of the worlds?
Partially yes to both. You unlock a new wisp in every world, except for Aquarium Park, I think, which is the 5th world that we're going to do. But all the levels, I mean, the actual levels themselves, like, there's not going to be anything like any new assets in the level, but each level will have like a theme. So like, all these levels are based off dessert. All the next levels will be based off of like space, and so on and so forth. Another important thing to know about this game is like the in-level shortcuts are going to be very, very important because they save a lot of time. Like right there, you saw me take the drill when in reality the game kind of was pushing you to keep going. It would have taken you on a loop around that entire burger, and it would have been like a minute slower. But thankfully, the game kind of likes to be nice and award replay value, and it's really nice for speedrunners as well. And so you'll see me taking alternate paths because I've just ran the game for long enough. I know which path is faster.
Yeah, what's the world record in this game, in this category?
I can't remember exactly what the world record is, but like the people that run this game, especially Ultimate, they have been people who've been running this game for such a long time. If you think that my skills are like good this run, they are something else, and I definitely recommend checking them out. I think the world record's about an hour, so I'm not too far off, but like they do some crazy stuff at a top level.
The world record for RTA, not IGT, is 1 hour, 1 minute, and 2 seconds.
Yeah, so about an hour.
In-game timer, 39 minutes.
Oh.
That's in-game timer though, so.
Yeah. I guess it doesn't run on all the load screens and all that.
Yeah, funny enough you mentioned that. The PC that I'm using right now, it loads a lot faster than my PC at home. Very non-zero chance that I could just get a PB from load times, which would be really funny.
You have to take this PC home with you and set a bunch of new PVs with it.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, your loading times are quicker than the world record holder.
Yeah, that's... Wow. Maybe this is my sign to push for the record. Also, next level, we're going to be seeing the Ghost Wisp. We unlocked it in a different level, but this is the first time it's actually useful. So in Sonic Colors Ultimate, there is no skip in this level. But in the Wii version, there is, because the Wii version, instead of using the Ghost Wisp, you take this like 2-minute long auto-scroller, and that's very slow. So what you do is you use the Laser Wisp to store your 3D properties in a 2D and I just died. Oops. You store your 3D properties in a 2D environment and use that to fly directly to the goal ring. But thankfully, since we have the Ghost Wisp, it allows us to travel through walls, so we don't need to do that skip, because it was actually a really hard skip. And this is a really hard run is also something that I should have mentioned. With the nature of this being a Boost Sonic game, you have to be really fast on your feet. And that's not always easy to do when you're going really fast. So the less like run-killing skips in this run, the better. But you will see some hard tricks coming up, don't worry.
Yeah, and as far as dying goes, that's if you get hit when you're out of rings, right?
Yeah, if you get hit when you're out of rings, you'll die. And if you fall, even if you have rings, you will die. Usually there, I have a setup that allows me to just like have a ring bounce back into me so that I can just take damage. But because I messed up at the beginning, I messed it up. So it happens.
Yeah, a lot of damage boosts in this game are just going through things and just not caring if they hit you, it looks like.
Yeah, thankfully the ring gives you, like, if you have at least one ring, you have pretty much an invulnerability to anything that's not falling through a pit. And so we're definitely going to exploit that. Also, that was the use of the Ghost Wisp right there to reach the end of the level.
So another question for you, Hex,
What's up?
is what can we expect from your speed date if we hit that incentive? You going to go fast or you going to go slow?
Well, usually I like to go fast, but I'm also good at taking things slow. So I will say, me being on a speed date with Sonic is very much like me being on an actual date. Probably very awkward. So just don't expect me to be like smooth or anything.
Well, only one way to find out, chat. Exclamation mark, donate, and then select the option for the speed date with Sonic. We've got all weekend to hit that one. So get those donations in.
Also, you see these cubes in the level. These are actually meant to do with the wisp that you get later, but we don't have the cube wisp right now, so we can't do much with it. But that's just an example of the game using like other levels to, like using wisps from previous levels and current levels. Because to get the S rank in this level, it's really hard. It's like probably the hardest S rank in the game, and you pretty much need to backtrack for it. So we're reaching the end of the level here, and then we're going to reach the 6th level for Sweet Mountain, where they decided that the robots that attack you aren't good enough, so they gave them guns. And I can understand why they did that, but it is very annoying for me because you're going to see at the end, there's a section where I pretty much am required to get hit because they have like 6 Eggman robots, all with guns. But other than that, this level, okay, yeah, I don't know what I was doing there. This level is not too bad. You get a lot of these levels where they kind of run out of ideas, so they just make you do a 2D section. That's like the one gripe I would say I have with like the level design is sometimes they get really lazy. You're going to see that with the bosses as well. This game literally has 3 bosses for 6 worlds, which is not great. Very recycled, very reused. Also, this is the section I was talking about before. Wow, I didn't get hit. Okay, never mind.
Ooh, nice.
But yeah, they're all lined up at the end, and they want you to climb those blocks, but they're all shooting bullets at you at a very fast rate, and so it's almost impossible. But listen, sometimes the impossible's possible.
And so you're going for a hitless run next of this game, right?
I've been advised not to answer this question. But no,
By who?
that's classified. No, but I'm kind of joking when I say that. This run, I mean, it wouldn't be that bad for a hitless run. Like, it's definitely something you can do. But if you're doing the 100% category, it's practically a hitless run anyways. Because, again, to get the A ranks, you need to keep a lot of the rings till the end. So my advice is instead of running hitless, run 100%. We need more 100% runners, please. Also, another thing to mention here is this game does away with the three-hit boss formula because you can actually beat bosses that require 3 hits in less than 3 hits by using power-ups. So you're going to see that this guy is going to die after I hit him with the drill. If I didn't hit him with the drill, he would not die and we'd have to do it again. But thankfully the game kind of added that little layer of, oh, if you know what you're doing and if you have like some experience, you can speed up the game, which is pretty cool. And yeah, this is the end of Sweet Mountain. That was pretty good.
I remember bosses needing 7 hits.
7?
7.
Sonic
Oh.
the Hedgehog 2, I think it was 7 or 8.
Yeah, thankfully, well, to be fair, there are some bosses that need more than 7 hits, which is actually the next boss coming up, but I'll explain that more when we get there. But yeah, this game, that's like one of the things about this game. It's nice that you bring that up, Mr. Wah, because it does away with a lot of the Sonic norms that you would expect. It's pretty much only Sonic and Tails in this game. There are not many characters minus Eggman, and the levels are, again, different from the status quo. There still is the whole ring stuff, but just not what you'd expect when you think of like your quintessential Sonic game. Also, there's going to be a skip coming up that I'm going to go for. I have a very low success rate with this skip, but I want to try it anyways. All right, looks good for the time being. I didn't get it. Basically, if I do that section correct, I can jump and miss like a trigger that causes me to auto run, and then skip this section right here. But unfortunately, I did not skip the trigger. It's hard to tell sometimes, and if you don't skip the trigger, you can't jump, which is what allows you to do the skip. That's okay. It only skips this section. It's nothing huge. It just looks really flashy, but it's, again, very hard, so I wasn't exactly banking on it.
Yeah, how much time would it have saved?
I think it saved somewhere from 30 to 45 seconds, so again, nothing like crazy, but when runners are going for like world record, what they'll do is they'll actually do this level second because the trick is a run killer, so they want to get this level out of the way because there's no real order you have to go in as long as you have the levels unlocked. I just choose it for personal preference, and so that kind of shows that the skip, you know, even when you're at a top level, you want to get it out of the way because it can mess up your runs.
Is there an ordering for like the wisps that you do certain levels in, or does that not really matter?
In this category, it doesn't typically matter because you would never not have a wisp that you would need for like a shortcut that you can feasibly unlock. But in 100%, it does matter because the wisps are a lot more important. So thankfully not for this category, but for 100%, yes. Also, this is like a nostalgia trip for me every time I play this level because this game, despite it being a Wii game, is absolutely beautiful. It is. The graphics are really good. And I know it's different now because this is the Ultimate port, but for the time, it was really good. And so I just remember being really amazed by the graphics when I was younger for this level. Also, if you like Indiana Jones, we're going to do an Indiana Jones style slide right here to avoid getting crushed. And
Make sure to grab your hat.
Yep. And thankfully, that allows us to one cycle that section. And that's the end of this level. This is one of the longer levels in the run, and unfortunately it has auto-scrollers, but it's still cool in its own right. And that's the end of Starlight Carnival Act 1. This world is my second favorite world in the run because of just, again, nostalgia, but also because there's a lot of different styles of levels coming up that you'll see. And it's just a very unique world that I don't think any other game really captures.
What do you think your favorite world is in this game?
It's, without a doubt, Planet Wisp. Not only is it my favorite world, it is my favorite like segment of almost any speedrun ever. Because yeah, no, it's I'm giving it very high praise, and you'll see why later. I'm gonna see if I can try to slide through here. No.
Ooh.
It's not even the world record holder, or at least not even the person that I watched to learn this run who had record at the time goes for that, because I'm pretty sure it's just RNG. But you know, gotta give it a try.
Yeah, it looked really tight.
Yeah.
And this is the Cube Wisp, by the way. It allows you to change the coins to cubes and cubes to coins every time you flip. It's actually a pretty cool gimmick, casually. In a speedrun, it doesn't get much use, but I don't know. It's a pretty cool power-up.
It's like a P-switch from Mario.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's cool because you can change it at will. So it lets you do some stuff, especially like for later levels. You might see me setting up, like removing some coins and then getting some other coins to set up for like a skip. Also, speaking of skips, this level is meant to be a auto-scroller where these trampolines follow you. But thankfully, we can pretty much skip like 75% of them. Just going like above them because they follow you if they're not below you. And if you're moving at a fast rate, then they'll still follow you. They can be a little unreliable at times, but not always.
So speaking of coins as well, you guys can spend your coins to donate towards the Urban Arts. Absolutely fantastic cause and some great incentives that are up for grabs as well, including the speed date for Hex to go on a speed date with Sonic the Hedgehog. And then also as well, Nintendo Switch 2 giveaway. Speedrun Summit signed badges by each of the runners here. There, each one individually is available to enter for. A Super Mario Odyssey Dino painted by Bite Sized. And also as well, a Gizmo Manza skateboard. These are all things that are up for grabs, along with an Urban Arts t-shirt signed by all the streamers. All you've got to do, ! donate in the chat to be able to donate. And you can give a message to your streamers as well.
All right, so I've glossed over one very, very big thing about this game. And it's not more so speedrunning, it's just about this game in general. This game's soundtrack is amazing. You will be hard-pressed to find a Sonic soundtrack that is not amazing. But this game, I think, is my favorite. And it is starting, like, one of the Sonic songs, I don't know if this is a good metric, but one of the songs from this game is blowing up on TikTok right now because people who have never played this game heard it and like, yo, what is this song? And then people don't know that it's a Sonic song. And that's the Planet Wisp music, which we'll get to later.
Ooh, okay. Looking forward to that. I'm a fan of the Sonic Adventure 2 Battle soundtrack.
Yes. That soundtrack's very good.
That's a good one.
It is just such a good soundtrack. Like I said, this one's my favorite, but they're all so good. They understand the assignment. That's really what it is. They understand the assignment and make you want to run at full speed. Speaking of running at full speed, we're kind of just on an auto run here, so if the commentators want to say anything or if there are any donations, go for it.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
That's a good thing to say.
For the commentators, I'm going to give you guys a homework assignment.
Okay.
I want you to, at the end of the run, say what your favorite world is.
A world with you guys in it.
Oh. Oh, unfortunately, I don't think there are one of those in the game. But I do agree that I like the world with you guys in it. And, oh yeah, hover wisp, by the way. This wisp allows you to hover. But no, it's actually like, it is not that, like, it's not a hugely used power-up, but it does its job.
What's the difference between that one and the Ghost Wisp?
The Ghost Wisp is, one, the timer is a lot less, and with the hover wisp, you can't go through walls. You also can't light dash. If you've ever played Sonic Adventure, either one of those games, you might be familiar with the light dash, which allows you to travel a trail of rings. You can actually do that with the hover wisp as well. Also, mashing B here extends my timer for the hover wisp. So doing that allows me to reach areas I wouldn't have been able to reach before. Also, I fat-fingered the boost button, and I'm probably going to die.
Oops.
It happens. Yeah, that, I can confidently say that's never happened before. But you know what? What's a marathon run without things never having happened before?
It's required. It's required for a marathon run.
Also, I just want to give a brief shout out. So what's interesting is my introduction to speedrunning was through speedrunning marathons like this one. And one of the first ones I watched was Darkspine Sonic doing Sonic Colors any % at a GDQ. And that inspired me to pick up this game. I was really young at the time, so I tried to do it, but I couldn't because I didn't really understand how to learn to speedrun effectively. Flash forward to COVID, I was really bored, and I had seen that run again. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. And I hadn't speedrun for a while afterwards, but I speedran that game on the Wii, and it reminded me why I liked speedrunning and why I liked Sonic in general. And that kind of kept my mind open to speedrunning it again, because I had taken a break. And so this game technically is responsible for bringing me back to speedrunning. So this game has a really fond place in my heart.
So
Yeah.
we know what game to blame.
Could put it that way. It all started when I saw that Sonic Colors run.
Yeah, you always remember your first speedrun. It's like, no matter how many other ones you do, it's like you just always go back to that first one.
Yeah.
Yep.
It always has that just nostalgia factor. And I personally just love this game as a speedrun, as a game, and just as an experience. And with that, we are done with all the levels in Starlight Carnival. We have one boss, Frigate Orkin, and this guy, we talked about 7 hits. We're going to need to hit him 28 times in total.
Whew.
Yeah, a lot of hits. Thankfully, we have a laser wisp, which will cut off some of those needed hits. But this boss is also RNG with the direction it can move. So unfortunately, only certain spots on the boss grant us the laser wisp. And we have to be careful to make sure that, given the patterns that he shows us, we can always get the laser wisp. Because if we don't, we're going to lose a lot of time.
Are you counting the hits here, or just kind of mashing till it goes?
Thankfully, the boss will go to 2D once I do enough hits, meaning I don't have to count it. I can just keep in mind like how many more hits I need with how the boss is acting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So now I know that this next laser should kill him. This should be enough. Yeah, there we go. So you can count how many hits, but because I knew how many hits go with each part of the ship and each phase, I could just say, okay, I did these many phases. We're ready to end the boss. And that is the end. This officially marks one half of the run. We have 3 worlds done. We have 3 more worlds to go before the inevitable final world, and we are getting into my favorite level now, Planet Wisp. This level is, again, I've said this, it's my favorite. It's casually, I did not enjoy it, but when it comes to speedrunning, it's a completely different battle because it is just so flashy and it's just so cool. Also, the music is amazing. It's trending on TikTok for a reason, is all I'll say. This first level is one of my top 3 favorite levels in the speedrun because it's just a movement masterpiece. If I tried to explain why, it wouldn't do it justice, so I think I'm just going to let the gameplay speak for itself here. We're also going to get the Spike Wisp, which is my favorite wisp in the game. It allows you to do a spin dash like in classic Sonic, which is nice.
Back in my day, classic Sonic was just Sonic.
So right here is the first time we're going to use the Spike Wisp, and it also, again, allows us to go up walls, meaning we can take many different paths.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah, it is a cool power-up, and it's going to become a part of the rest of the run pretty much. We're going to be using it in different levels. And that, again, this level, it's meant to be like a 2-3 minute long level, but if you know what you're doing with the Spike Wisp, you can make it really fast. And again, the movement here, it is so cool because somebody who's played this game casually, or maybe even not played it at all, will see how fast you're going and will definitely be in shock. And then you also have some good old-fashioned platforming right here. And that's the end of the level. Yeah, that was really good. Again, one of my favorite levels in the run for a reason, because trying to cut your time there, trying to see how fast you can beat it, it is addicting. And with Sonic, you usually always have an in-level timer, so you it just incentivizes playing over and over again.
Yeah, it's kind of like a natural speed run. Any game that puts a timer there, it's like it enters your mind. What if I did it a little faster?
They just want you to do it. Like they're begging you to speedrun it. All right, Planet Wisp Act 2. I know I said this is my favorite world. This is probably my least favorite level in it, just because there's not much going on here. It is pretty much a 2D side-scrolling level. And every world has one of these. But, thankfully, the music is still good. That's what we have. If the level isn't good, the music is. So I'm going to use this right here to go up. It's sometimes you'll see me not homing attacking the enemies because the bounce that you get off the homing attack doesn't actually give you that much height. But if you do like a jump and then you fall into the enemy, it'll give you a lot more height. And so that's the end of the level. Thankfully, that went really well. That level can be a little scary. It's pretty easy to die.
Why, when you jumped up using the circle ring thing, did you bounce back into it?
Muscle memory, because in 100%, you would do that to get more rings to finish the level with more points. And so I kind of just brain defaulted in 100% mode. There will be things that I do that will look like, okay, what are you doing? Like, and it's interesting because almost always there's like a reason for it. But that time I just happened to mess up, unfortunately. But that's okay. Planet Wisp Act 3. This level, there's not much going on here, but we are going to be doing a skip, and it's going to use that bounce that I talked about before. Also, return to the cube.
Yeah, activate that P-switch.
And then so right here, what we're going to do is I'm going to use these guys to
Oh.
bounce up here. Yeah, and so
It's
actually...
way higher.
Yeah.
Pogo.
Way higher. And you can just wall jump past it and then make it to the goal ring. Otherwise, you'd have to go down and do a little puzzle with the P-switch, but the P-switch, the cube wisp. Very slow, though. And now, Planet Wisp Act 4. So this one's cool as well because casually, this was my least favorite level. Casually, this level stinks because it is everything that Sonic is not supposed to be. It's a vertical ascension tower filled with, like, precise platforming, and even though like precise platforming in this game is pretty good, it's still not, doesn't substitute for speed. As you can see, that's the entire tower. Thankfully, there's a skip for it, which we are going to utilize here using our good pal, the Laser Wisp. We're going to do some geometry. Good old-fashioned geometry.
I love maths.
I love math. Me too. Big math fan here. Love geometry, especially in my Sonic game. Oh, I messed it up. All right, there's a backup. There's a backup that I'm going to utilize. I can just grab this. There's one more Laser Wisp right here. Unfortunately, if you use the Laser Wisp, it doesn't regenerate. So this is the backup right here. And if I miss this...
Just don't miss it.
True. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so we do a bank shot off the wall to just reach that rail right there, which takes us right to the end of the level. We don't have to scale that tower. The angle for it is pretty precise, which is unfortunate because you're kind of taking a blind shot at it. But, we learned from our mistakes, and we got it the second time. Planet Wisp Act 5. There's not too much here. It's, again, the devs sometimes get lazy. And this is unfortunately a result of that. Because it is just another level where they gave these robots the guns. Which, not the most creative design, but it's okay.
That was probably ready for the Shadow DLC.
Yup.
If I was Robotnik, I would give them guns. I feel like that's more effective.
You would think so, but they still kind of suck at their job, unfortunately. But what classic video game baddie, like low-level baddie, isn't bad at their job? It's like it comes with the contract. All right, now Planet Wisp Act 6. The rest of these levels have been pretty good. This one right here has a lot that goes into it. Very long level, very hard level. But when you pull it off and you get it right, you look really freaking cool at the game and in life. Right here, we're going to do a jump. Not now, but for the next one. And it's going to allow us to skip a lot of the level. And it also looks really cool, but it is very hard. So I'm going to lock in for this. Now, there we go.
Oh, that was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it
Nice.
is a sick skip.
That was so cool. You skip through dimensions.
Oh my.
You know, this is the sort of skill level that you should be showing off on your speed date, which exclamation mark donate for a chance to see that.
I unfortunately think that if I did that on my speed date, I'm getting stood up. I did unfortunately die, and I did not get a checkpoint, so we are back at the beginning of the level. But that means we get to do the skip again. I tried to rush it a little there with boosting over the gap, but unfortunately, if you get hit in that section, you're cooked. Like say your prayers. But unfortunately, it's not that bad. Like we're already back to where we died.
So how would you say you're doing on this run in comparison to, say, like an average run or your best run?
Well, thankfully, I have the loads buff, which is nice. But I had some deaths that were like weird. That was probably the biggest mistake of the run so far. That was like a 45-second death, which honestly, in the grand scheme of things, not that big of a deal. But the run is still going well regardless. And right here, we're going to keep that Spike Wisp and avoid doing some 2D platforming to go all the way to the top of the level using our Spike, and we can just fall right onto the goal ring.
Nice.
Which is a nice little skip, and it skips a really, really annoying section. But honestly, no, back to your point on the run, it's actually not been that bad so far. Obviously, the hardest part is yet to come. But with this game, I'm just happy to be here, honestly. Like, I'm just here to show off what makes this game special, and I don't think having a perfect run would change that. If I can get people like excited to watch and like ooh and ah at some cool skips, that's enough for me. And right here, we're going to use the Spike Wisp to 2-cycle this boss.
What is happening?
Are you damaging it there? Or
No, it goes
that
to
just
like
waiting?
yeah, it's just waiting for it. It goes to like an invulnerability phase, and it wants like that's kind of there also to make sure that you can't 2-cycle it with the spike. But the devs forgot to account for the fact that if you don't move, your spike timer doesn't lower as fast. So you can just chill there while he does his little invulnerability phase, and then just get him after. So that was Planet Wisp. That was my favorite world in the run. Now we're on to Aquarium Park, which is probably the coolest looking world. Actually, that's not true. Asteroid Coaster exists. But it's a vibe world. It's hard while also being fun. And we're in Aquarium Park 1. The music here also, again, very good. This level right here is a nightmare in 100%. But in this level, in this category, it's pretty good. Now, I have a story about something that happened to me while I was running 100%, which I think you guys might find amusing. If you do not get an S rank in the level, you have to redo the entire level. And in my PB, I missed the S rank in this level by 200 points. The S rank in this level, the point requirement is 2.2 million. Yeah.
So you were like a couple of rings away.
I was less than a ring away.
Oh my goodness.
Which is crazy. But it's okay because it was really funny. And so that's another thing of like taking secret paths. this level is a long level, and you're meant to do this like whole underwater maze and what have you. We are not doing that. We will not be doing that because it's slow. And thankfully, using the drill wisp, there are these pipes that can take us all the way to the end of the level. You're going to see that a lot throughout Aquarium Park. So while there isn't much flashy speed tech to save time, if you know where to go, you're going to be saving a lot more time than if you were trying to do like a skip or two in the run. Also, this is your mandatory 2D side-scrolling level. This has nothing to do with an aquarium at all. I'm not sure why it's here. But, you know, we take the good with the bad.
Fish or tanks in the background or something?
Sushi restaurant, maybe?
There's a sushi restaurant.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
Also, you saying that reminds me of something very interesting. One of the things about this game is it has a lot of charm. And part of the charm is, I don't think it's on in your first playthrough, but if you have Eggman's voices in the background, you can hear him saying some stuff. And it's like classic Eggman like jokes, but some of them are actually like kind of funny. Like they're actually kind of funny. Like he'll talk about like, now don't get me wrong, I don't think this is funny, but just the way Eggman delivers it is funny. He's like, this place is home to many rare and endangered species. Enjoy them with a soy glaze at the Bucket of Sushi restaurant. And I don't know why, but every time I hear that, I just like laugh a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't like what Eggman's doing, but
Can you try and say that again in Eggman's voice, please?
okay, yeah. Can I do it at the end of this level?
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. Yeah, I can try that. Also, if you stand here, these gates open, and you get a little shortcut. Also, if you try to boost without any boost, I should have mentioned this earlier probably. Try to boost without any boost, you do this little like mid-air dash, which can actually be more useful than a boost sometimes. So, as much as I talk about boost management as like, oh, you need to make sure to keep all your boosts, there's times where you also want to get rid of it as well. And this is one of those moments.
You know, getting rid of boost, I would count that as managing boost.
All right. I can try my best. I don't know if I'm going to sound like Eggman, but I can do it in his exact mannerism. All right. Wait, I'm blanking. Hang on. He says, Aquarium Park is home to many endangered species. Enjoy them with the soy glaze at the Bucket of Sushi restaurant. That's my best attempt. I don't know how good I did, but...
Good attempt, good
oh,
attempt.
thank you. You guys are too kind.
I don't think any of us could do a better Eggman impression.
Nah.
You know what? I think you guys could. But you know what? I'll gladly accept this praise. Also, right here, I'm going to be using the drill wisp a lot to, again, go underwater and take some different paths. Don't ask me what happened there. I don't even quite know. But there is one very important thing about this level, and that's the fact that we do not want to boost at all. And I'm going to explain why at the end, because it is very important. And we pretty much need to save all the boosts we can get. If you... Oh, sorry, I didn't interrupt.
No, carry on.
If you see me hit an enemy with this like little green circle, that's called a perfect homing attack, and you actually get boost from them. So we want to do those as much as possible because more boost means going faster. Now this guy is the reason we want to get boost, because the way you avoid this guy is you can either boost and none of his attacks hit you, or you can jump when he tries to punch you. One small issue though, the game doesn't let you jump in this section. Meaning the only way to actually make it through is to take damage and get rings whenever you can to keep taking damage. This is why we want to keep our boost until the end, because with this, none of his attacks will hit me and we don't have to worry about it. You used to be able to skip it, but in the ultimate version of the game, they changed something with the laser wisp that made it unable to. So we have to do this section now, unfortunately. But that's the end of the level, and that's why we want to save our boost for the end, because I don't like getting punched by that guy.
Ooh, an S rank?
Yeah, that level's point requirements. Thankfully, since we use the wisps a lot throughout the level, you get points for using the wisp. And since we're pretty much in the wisp the entire time, we accumulate enough points. And since we didn't get hit, we keep a lot of rings to the end. And that's pretty much the most important part of getting your S rank, is keeping a bunch of rings to the end. If you can do that, you pretty much S rank any level. Within reason. There are exceptions. Also, back to another one of these trampoline levels. Unfortunately, you can't skip this level like you did the other ones.
Pardon you?
Well, you can, but you can't do it as much as the previous level.
Yeah, still looks like there's some tech to going fast by avoiding bouncing too many times.
Yeah, you don't want to bounce too often, but you want to only bounce when you need to. Also, they have a vertical ascension, which you can't skip, unfortunately, because there's not enough platforms to make it to the top. Also, I like to sync with the music here.
Playing DDR out here.
Only way to keep myself entertained on this auto-scroller. Also, our worst enemy in the game is the goal ring. Why is he shooting at us? He's supposed to be our win condition. All right, Aquarium Park 6. This is where the first of 3 huge, largely unintended skips come in. I say largely unintended because we're going to be going out of bounds. We are going to get to a later part in the level, and we are going to save a hover wisp from a 2D section, and we're going to use it very high up in a 3D section. And it's going to allow us to skip an invis wall and reach a section that we're meant to do in 2D while retaining the 3D properties, meaning we can just skip right to the goal ring. And it's a really cool looking skip, but there is a catch. You can only go for it once. Because it's incumbent on you having the hover wisp, you lose the wisp if you try to do it and then die. So we need to make sure that we get a first try if we want to have a chance of showing off the skip.
How much time does it save, roughly?
This one saves, I'd say, about a minute. And I don't know if this is a crazy thing to say, but like, I'm more just want to look cool.
Yeah.
I kind of want to show it off because the skip is really freaking cool. But again, like, if I don't get it, it's not the end of the world. Only saves about a minute. But here it is. It's right here, so I'm going to lock in for this. So we boosted, jumped, and we're going to use this hover. There's this invis wall here. And hopefully we make it over. So we're going to land right here in the water, and we're going to, again, have our 3D properties while being in the water. So we can move, and we can go out of bounds here.
That didn't look normal.
Yeah.
That did not look right.
Right here is the goal ring, meaning we can just get right to the end
There
and
it
skip
is.
all of
Hey,
that.
good job.
I'm really happy I got that. That skip is really hard. That skip is really flashy, and that skip is really sick. That's not the only out of bounds skip that we're going to have in this run, but first we have to deal with the worst boss in the game. Now, do you remember how I told you guys they didn't really leave any of the issues that they had initially from launch? There's an exception, and that exception is this boss. You can do what we did throughout the entire run, which is use the drill, wisp, or any power-up for that matter, to 2-cycle a boss. The unfortunate thing here is that I don't have my drill. Okay, well, we're not doing it here, but they made it so that Admiral Jelly, who's the boss, moves at the frame rate of the game. And if you try to drill, it also makes Admiral Jelly move as fast as the drill because of some frame stuff. And that basically means that he is faster than the drill. You cannot hit him with the drill, which is something you are intended to do. That is not supposed to happen. And it is extremely frustrating because you essentially have to rely on like you getting lucky and him just like flying into you Thankfully, there are some setups you can do, but it's just like, it's broken. It is completely broken. And it makes this boss a lot harder than it needs to be. We're going to try right here. Boom. All right, we got it, thankfully. But you might have saw that he started to speed up. And I had to kind of meet him there, like I had to intersect with him. Because if I tried to go where he was supposed to be, he would have been so fast that I wouldn't have been able to hit him. But thankfully, we did it in 2 cycles, so we take those. But, you know, it's just one thing that's like so much harder than it needs to be. And that's the end of Aquarium Park. We're on the last world before Terminal Velocity, which is like a mini world at the end. This is my favorite world in the game. This is Asteroid Coaster. There are many skips here, and it is very hard, but it is very rewarding. This is the last level in the run for a reason, because even though it is like there are a lot of skips, everything else, all the other worlds are harder. So like this world is still very hard, but it's just like the least hard of the hard worlds. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're going to see it right here. Our first skip is I am going to skip the rest of this section by doing this. I can literally just jump and boost, and we have now skipped 45 seconds worth of the level. So that's pretty cool. And it's not going to stop there, because even though we don't have more skips in the level, the flashiness is there's many a flashiness in this level. I don't know how to word that, so there you go. You're going to see me using my boost to skip sections that would be slower. And at one point, there's going to be a 0 grav section that I'm hopefully going to fly through. And it looks really sick. All right, here we go. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, neat.
I don't have any boost here, so I'm going to hope to get perfects here. Nice. And then that is the end of the level. That level is hard, but it is so cool to watch, because there's just flashy boosts that skip a lot of stuff, and just like a lot of like skill-based skips, not like going out of bounds. Just stuff that you can do if you know how the game works, and you get rewarded for it by going fast. So now we have Asteroid Coaster 2, which is, I would say, the hardest level in the run, because there's a lot of spots. Now, do you remember how we talked about if you have rings, you can't die at any given point unless you take unless you take damage with no rings or you fall? Well, there is one exception, and it's with these pushy blocks. If you get pushed out, it's an instant death, no questions asked. Which is very stressful, because later you're going to see me boosting past some as they're going out, try to make a cycle. And unfortunately, if I'm too slow or if I make a misinput, I will die instantly. And there's not a lot of checkpoints in this level. Also, we get to see our last and final Wisp of the run, the Frenzy Wisp, which one of my favorites. Basically, it just eats everything in sight.
Nom nom nom.
Yummy, yummy chemical tubes.
You're playing Katamari at this point.
Except, I guess you're right. I was about to say, except we're not accumulating in size, but we definitely are.
You definitely were.
Yeah, I'm about to say, we
that.
definitely were.
So just as a reminder for everyone as well, coming up after this, we have the Donkey Kong Bonanza with dangers. Now, there is a target of $300, and if we hit that target before the run starts, the run will be done in a Donkey Kong costume. And let's just say, seeing that would be absolutely bananas. So, !donate, $250 to go to hit that target. We've got up until the end of the run and the setup to get it done. So get those donations in, guys.
Oh, we definitely want to see that.
Yeah, I strongly recommend. I would go bananas for that. Yeah, very good level right there. I don't know, astute observers may have noticed. I did a boost and I almost got pushed out, but thankfully I made it at just the right time to where I caught myself on the block that was coming out. Also, this level right here is going to utilize 2 wisps, not just 1. And basically, we're going to use the spike wisp and the cube wisp. We're going to use them alongside. Oh, the level's done. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I don't know what to really say in regards to that level. Did they even try? But no.
They might have forgot a wall.
Thankfully, the bounce off the enemy that I was talking about before, where you don't homing attack, it's very useful in that position because you can get that height and do a wall jump to just pretty much skip everything. You are intended to get the spike and the cube wisp, but it's really slow and not needed because that skip, that's a skip where you can do it at home if you tried. You can just watch me do it and probably pull it off. Also, this is, I'm not even really sure what to say about this level. We're on Saturn. We're not on Saturn anymore.
I'm just saying that level's very unrealistic. I've watched Sonic X. I know that those robots can't go as fast as Sonic.
Yeah, I mean, they're not very faithful in this game. Either that or Eggman must have made some insane tech adjustments.
Or Sonic's just having an off day. He's
I
just,
guess
he's just
so.
a little slow today.
Not enough chili dogs.
All right, this is another level where we're going to do a little bit of a unintended little...
Looks like some damage boost tech.
Unintended little... It's not completely unintended, but we're going to grab this laser wisp. We're meant to take the frenzy, but if we just take this laser, we can line ourselves up to just take out all the enemies and win.
Nice.
Which is cool because, trigonometry. We were parallel to the ground. Now, Asteroid Coaster 6. This is my favorite level in the run. My favorite level in the run because there is a really cool skip coming up. We are going to do the same thing as before, except we're not going to be able to keep our 3D properties because we're actually going from a 2D section to a 3D out of bounds. So what we have to do is we have to clip out in the 2D section, reach an area with a 3D trigger, and keep that trigger to go out of bounds and make it to the goal ring. So it's a lot more involved, and it's a lot harder. So I'll let you guys know when that's coming up. And then this is going to be the last level before the Asteroid Coaster boss, which also has a little bit of tech to it, but we'll get to that when we get there. So we're going to come down here, and this is going to be the 2D section that we clip out of. The clip is going to happen very fast. You probably blink and you miss it. Oh.
Okay, well, I'll make sure not to blink so I don't miss it.
All right, it's coming up, so you can start now.
My eyes are starting to hurt.
Oh, hang on.
Not blinking?
Wait, I have to actually, I'm going to have to go back down. I'm going to have to go back up because I need air here. Sonic will drown if I don't have enough air.
My eyes are getting crusty.
My eyes need less air right now, please.
All right, I'm having some issues clipping out. And that's actually...
Patched?
So, yes and no. It's because of the frame rate of the game. It's because of the frame rate of the game. The clip out is harder on different frame rates. Yeah, there we go. So this is where we're gonna grab the 3D trigger. Now we're out of bounds. We have limited time to get to the goal ring.
Hurry, 2, 1.
No, that's not supposed to have collision, bro. Oh. All right.
Oh.
That is not supposed to have collision. I don't know what happened there, but
We get to
try
see it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's never happened before.
Is that one of the lines you're going to be using on your speed date with Sonic?
Yeah, well, that's only if it's a successful date because that's never happened before. No, I'm just kidding. But no, basically the clip out here, it's not patched, but on the frame rate that I'm at right now, it's a lot more precise. It is a lot more precise. Usually, the clip out there, it's actually not that hard. But it is on this version because you have to press the buttons in like a more spaced out succession. Otherwise, you could just press them at the same time. So that's the end of the level. That's how the skip was supposed to look like. Unfortunately, I did mess up. It happens.
Hey, we take a second try.
We do. We do.
And clearly that second try was just to give more chance to get dangers in the Donkey Kong costume, right?
Exactly. I had to take one for the team there.
Yeah. So chat, get those donations in. Get the dangers in the Donkey Kong costume.
All right, so this boss right here is Frigate Scullion. I hate this boss with every bone in my body, but not in this category because it's any %, and there's a skip. We are going to hit him 6 times so that he spawns a Rocket Wisp, and we're going to just hit him to get him to go to 2D. So he's going to go to 2D here, and we're going to keep this Rocket Wisp. What we're going to do is we're going to wait until he's above us, and we're going to use it. But we're going to also make sure to press pound at the same time, and we have just killed him.
Huh.
There we go. Yeah, so another thing with the frame rate difference there is the pound's not supposed to kill him on this like version of frame rate that I'm on, or at least in this version of the game. But because of this frame rate that I'm on, which is 144 frames per second instead of 60, it actually makes so that he just dies. Otherwise, he would need to spawn his spike balls, and then he would actually move so that he falls into his own spike balls, and that deals damage and kills him. Which is, I think, kind of comical. But here we have terminal velocity. So this level, it is a glorified auto-scroller. You are just running through the entire level.
Is it even glorified? Is it just
No,
a regular
it's an
auto-scroller?
auto-scroller.
Okay.
I mean, you can go faster. You can boost to go faster. But, like, that's minor detail. And it's meant to be like you're running away because Eggman's system for this amusement park is failing. And this is supposed to be like, oh, the long run away from the amusement park. But it's not very cinematic. We're just dodging enemies. But if you die at any point, what do you guys think happens if you die at any point? Just take a guess.
Go back to the start.
Right to the start.
Yep.
Right to the start of the level. And
You mean you don't just keep falling down to the bottom and your corpse hits the ground?
unfortunately, no.
Dang.
But that could be a time save if they ever patch that. Sega, take notes. But no, they the patches didn't even fix the actual issues. So I don't have much hope. But thankfully we can collect boost here, and we're gonna see our good old pal, Mr. Chaser guy.
Is that his government name?
You know,
Mr. Chaser guy?
I'm not actually sure. We're going to boost here. I need to get more rings. I was not supposed to get hit there. I kind of fumbled. It happens. Once I get more rings, I'll feel a lot safer. All right, we have rings. We just got to dodge his jumps 6 times, and then we could just boost to the end. So now we can just pretty much boost to the end. We have a solid and clear cruise. Nothing can stop us now. And the level's done. Now we have the final boss. We have Eggman himself. Now this boss is RNG, because why wouldn't it be? And he has different attacks he can do. He's actually going to use the wisps that we use to attack us. So he can give you a cube attack, he can give you a spike attack, he can give you a laser attack, and he can also give you a combination of the two. He can give you a cube spike, cube laser, which are 2 that we don't want to see. Cube spike is the absolute worst, and I will cry if I get it.
Now I kind of want to see it.
I think if I had to predict, he's probably going to give me Cube Laser. I would guess. Spikes and Laser are good because it's just platforming, and well, that's the name of the game.
I thought the name of the game was Sonic Colors.
Sonic Colors platforming.
Ah.
They don't tell you about this one at Sega. But yeah, no. While this run is wrapping up, I'm just really glad that I get to show this game off. I'm very passionate about this game as a speedrun and just as a game in general. And I think that any opportunity that I get to show it off is really cool. And I'm also just very happy to be here at Summit. Thank you to everybody who donated to Urban Arts to get me here. It means a lot. It means the world to me, and Urban Arts is a great cause. Keep donating. We want to see that, if you want to see that speed date, if you want to see that monkey costume, get those donations in. All right, so this is the final phase, and we get to hear Reach for the Stars, which is the main theme of the game. They did like a remake of it for this fight, and it is amazing.
Reach for the Stars by S Club 7?
Ooh, unfortunately not.
Ugh.
There we go. And so now we have successfully, hello. Okay, thank you, game. I'm not sure what happened there, but thank you. And
You
so
got him. You got him.
time is not coming up after this. Time, we actually have one more mini level before the run ends. And then we're done. So I will say when time is, it's going to be in this next level when it fades to white. And we pretty much are done with, I don't want to jinx myself, but the hard part. All we have left is just this sprint to the end. So time will be coming up. I will let you guys know when. And thank you to my commentators. Thank you, Milo, for having me. This means a lot. This means the world to me. And I hope you all enjoyed the run. I hope you all learned something new about this game. I hope you all learned something new about Sonic and his speedruns. And time will be coming up very shortly. Once this happens, the run will be done.
Great job on this run. Very
Time.
smooth. Let's go.
Woo! All right. So, do you guys want to hear something funny?
Yes.
That
of
is
course.
a PB by 20 seconds. Fully carried by the loads, by the way. I'm just going to say, fully carried by the loads. But that is the fastest I've ever beaten Sonic Colors.
Big
That run
round
was
of
really
applause.
good.
Congratulations.
That run was really good.
Excellent.
Thank you, everybody who watched. I hope you enjoyed. And like I said, keep donating, keep supporting Urban Arts. And check out these amazing runners. We got Donkey Kong Bonanza coming up. It's the hit new speed game. Danger's going to do a great job. And keep an eye out for everybody else in the schedule. This event is filled with such talented runners and such great people. All their runs are going to be great, and I hope you all enjoy. And thank you again.
Yeah. Great job on the run.
Yeah, I mean, Hex, you couldn't have said it any better yourself. We've got some fantastic stuff lined up over the next, well, few hours. Tomorrow, Sunday, a load of great stuff. We've got the incentives, including things from signed badges all the way to a Nintendo Switch 2, along with some targets like getting Dangers in a Donkey Kong outfit, getting Hex a date. We've also got the merchandise on the Tantrum merch store, tantrummerch.com/GSA. I'm wearing one of the shirts, another one is here. There's also a load of other goodies on there as well, so make sure you check that out. But yeah, how have you enjoyed Sonic Colors?
It was a great experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never seen the game before, casual or speedrun, so that was awesome. Reminded me of my childhood playing Sonic, and it was awesome.
Yeah, all those years ago for some of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I think Hex did a great job. It's crazy that he PB'd at an event, so
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, massively. But yeah, with that in mind, let's just get ready for the next bit, and we'll see you soon.